Hey, you guys. I was trying to hurry up and eat a little bit before we got started, but I wanted to go ahead and make sure we hopped on here really quickly. That way, as soon as it starts, we can watch it together. I will have to stop and commentate on it so it falls within the bounds of fair use. But it looks like breaking news, and I'll share this with you guys. Any of my moderators, if you guys find where it's live streaming, I think I have it up. I have a WSAV TV live streaming channel up. So, if for some reason it doesn't stream on there and anybody finds it, shoot it over to my email and let me know in the chat. Okay, so it's like we got a lot of, Quentin Simon related news. They're getting it done right now. They are doing everything they can to get the ball rolling with Quentin's case and anything related to it. Hey everyone, hey you guys. All right, so this broke 16 minutes ago, and I think when you guys alerted me in the chat, I ran and checked it, and it was like 1 minute. So as soon as y'all knew with the quickness. All right, let me share this with you guys. Brett Buffington from WSAV and Shay Schrader, WTOC, which is their local news stations, from my understanding, they both posted. Well, actually, Brett Buffington is Leilani Simon has been indicted on felony murder charges by Chatham County grand jury. The DA is expected to hold a media briefing at 4 o'clock. So let's get over here. Let's see if anything's coming up on here. Let's see if we have anything. News. Let's go to news. If anybody sees it, let me know. All right, this says it's really big. Let me see if I can grab a hold of that. No? All right, let's see. Shrink that down a little bit. Okay, Leilani Simon indicted on charges of death, disposal, and concealment of son Quentin Simon. So this happened just a bit ago at 3:44. So it says Leilani Simon has been indicted by the Chatham County grand jury on charges of death, disposal, and concealment of her 20-month-old son Quentin Simon on Wednesday. District Attorney Shalina Cook Jones will hold a press conference at the Chatham County Courthouse at 4 p.m. to explain the nature of the charges and update the public on the status of the investigation. WSAV News 3 will live stream the event from our Facebook page. So let's go there. Hopefully, don't ask me to log in. Hopefully, I'm already logged in. All right, we don't see anything right now. Let's go to videos. Might be a few minutes late. Right now, there's nothing on there. But it's supposed to start. All right, it should be starting soon, you guys. But wow, that's interesting. So, she's been indicted. I'm trying to get it a little bit smaller so you guys can see the whole page when it comes up. Let's see. Okay, so that's interesting. So she's being charged with the death, the disposal, and the concealment. I don't know if that's 3 different charges or if it's all going to roll into one as like a murder charge. I'm not sure, but either way, right, allegedly, yeah. Let me write this down. You guys share this video if you don't mind. Write this down. Death, disposal, and concealment. So usually when this happens, like when there's a murder or something and somebody's going to be indicted, they bring people in to testify in front of the grand jury to see if they want to indict that person, right? Like how for Casey Anthony's story, they questioned her father in front of the grand jury. And based off what her father said, they decided to indict her, right? So I wonder who they called in and who all they spoke to go to decide to indict her. I'd be curious to know that. We may eventually learn who testified in front of the grand jury, but we may not ever find out what they said because that's like under lock and key from my understanding. All right, let's go back to the Facebook page and see if we see anything. Now, I want to be sure. It's 4 o'clock there, right? Because it's only 3:04 here. Thank you, allegedly. So it's 4 o'clock in Georgia, right? Yeah, it's going to be on WSAV, so let's see what everyone's saying. Brett Buffington's post, Leilani Simon has been indicted on felony murder charges by a Chatham County grand jury. The DA is expected to hold a media briefing at 4 o'clock at WSAV. Someone said, great news, hoping she never sees the light of day again. Hand claps. Thank you, Jesus. Where to watch live. Her mom was the legal custodian of Quentin. She ignored court orders by leaving Quentin with Leilani. Accountability there. Her mom was arrested yesterday for contempt by CPS. They aren't ruling out further charges, allegedly dependent on the outcome of Leilani's trial. That's what I hear. Is that Eastern time so I can work out UK time? Let's see. Let's go to WSAV. Right now, they haven't posted anything new. But we're going to keep our eye on it, you guys. Maybe Danny. Maybe Danny was the one that testified. Maybe Danny was the one that testified. I don't know. Don't get too excited. It triggers, yeah. I mean, nobody, here's the thing. Most people that I know don't want to see people hurt. Like, they really don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still have this spot in my heart where I'm like, dang, that's hard. That's hard for Billy Joe. Like, that's got to be tough. But in the same sense, my concern more lies with the kids too. Like, it sucks for Billy Joe. I think Billy Joe made a huge mistake. She didn't think that this would happen, but it happened. Here we are. And my concern is more with the kids. They should have been protected. They deserve that. They deserved protection. They deserve to live in a home where they deserve to live in a home where they feel safe and where they were being taken care of. And unfortunately, that just didn't happen. Destiny, I can't see that. Can you email that to me? Or the link to where you saw that? I don't see it. Destiny, can you email that to me? Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably Danny more than likely. Can you see the mic and stuff? I'm not seeing anything right now. How did we view it last time? Thank you. Yeah, my understanding Danny's phone was used by who? How else would Ellie know to look in the landfill if Danny didn't tell him? I've heard that they had Leilani on camera somewhere in the middle of the night, like tossing something in the garbage. That's what the rumors being from like early on. That is it. Just the article. Okay, Brett just posted that it's running late. I would say so because I'm like, what's happening here? Let's see what Brett has to say. We are standing by for the briefing from the Chatham County District Attorney on Leilani Simon's murder indictment. It was scheduled to start at 4, but is running a little late. All right, let's see. There we are with that. Yeah, so I'm wondering if they just had her on camera tossing something, maybe something in a bag that was big enough to have been a child. So that's where they, and maybe they did bring Danny in for questioning, and he was like, "Yeah, she disappeared with him, came back without him." And what time was it? This time to that time, So maybe I don't know. She went to her best friend's trailer park, dumped allegedly, and there's cameras there. Yeah, that's what the rumor has been that she was caught on cameras dumping something. That's why they had this. Um, that's why they searched the landfill. Okay, this the indictment? Okay, all right, yeah, that is the indictment. Hold on. All right, so it's kind of blurry, but this looks like it's the indictment. So it says offenses. Okay, offenses: malice murder. So it looks like she's being charged with malice murder, felony murder, 2 counts. What? Concealing the death of another, false report of a crime, and making a false statement. 14 counts. Wait, what? 14 counts of false statement. I'm trying to figure out this 2 counts because I guess 2 counts of murder, but it's for the same. So malice murder and felony murder will be 2 counts of murder, but it's for the same baby, I'm assuming. Concealing the death of another, false report of a crime, and making a false statement, 14 counts. So she's being charged with, okay, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, no, that's going to be 14, 15, 16, 18 count, like 18 charges. Is that right? I know Casey Anthony was like several different charges, like lying to the police. And she was found guilty on like 4 counts of lying to the police. Um, so it definitely looks like they're throwing it all at her. I mean, 2 counts, malice murder, felony murder, 19 charges. Okay, 19 charges is what's being said. Wow. 19 charges. Wow. I'm going to redo. I'm just going to use that one. You guys bear with me. If you guys see it, let me know. And all right, I'm going to redo this really quickly and put this up there. Mm. Has anybody seen it yet? Think about innocent Quentin and what she did to him. Throw it all at her. Yeah, 19 charges. If convicted on malice murder here, you can't ever get out of prison. You die there. Do they have the death penalty in Georgia? I think so. Let me see. Let's see if they have the death penalty in Georgia. Sparkles all over me. Yes. It does have the death penalty. This state is the fourth highest in the U.S. carrying out executions. Wow. So Georgia, I think Texas is number one. Wait, you guys can't see that. I think Texas is number one, and it says here that um, Georgia is fourth to use it. All right. Are you guys seeing it yet? It would be nice if she would just confess. It would be nice if she would just confess. Let us know what happened. If it was an accident, maybe she could get out of some of those charges. I don't know, but that's what she's looking at right now, you guys. It says state of Georgia versus Leilani Marie Simon witnesses. Wait, witness? Chatham County. Oh, witness. That's like the witness that signed off on that, I guess. It says Chatham County Police Department, so that's going to be like a detective or something more than likely. But here it says offenses of malice, murder, felony murder, 2 counts. Okay, WSA. Okay, let's see. If anybody has it, can you email it to me? Because I'm not seeing it. So there we are.
Of men and women hard at work, combing through.
I'm going to back it up to the very beginning, you guys. Let's go.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you know, that you might have seen of men and women hard at work, combing through heaps of trash.
It just skipped, but I am going to stop and commentate on it.
Looking for just the smallest sign of what happened to baby Q, as he was affectionately known. When any person, particularly a child of tender years, is murdered, harmed, victimized, or goes missing in our community, it's a matter that calls our very humanity into question. These are the cases that keep us up at night.
Absolutely.
These are the cases.
It's kind of weird seeing someone else there besides Chief Hadley. Normally, Chief Hadley does all these press conferences, but this is the DA who is the person behind, what charges they're going to press. So she's the one that made that decision, from my understanding.
That deserve justice. Before I begin, I would like to thank the fine members of law enforcement, particularly our Chatham County Police Department Police Chief, Chief Jeff Hadley. Thank you. If you'll join me here, I appreciate it. And to the rest of his team, particularly.
There he is. There's Chief Hadley. You guys can't see him, but he just kind of scooched over there in the corner right there. All those people that was throwing stones at Chief Hadley, I hope they come back and apologize, because I definitely think it's warranted. I think he was doing the best that he could.
The lead investigator on this case, Detective Lemons. Chief, I want to thank you for the hard work and dedication that you've devoted to this case from the very beginning.
Yes, ma'am.
Your department was boots on the ground, and you made this the highest priority for our county. You represented our county well, and we greatly appreciate it. To the men and women of the Chatham County Sheriff's Office, the GBI, the Department of Natural Resources, and the FBI, of course, and every other law enforcement agency that devoted time, effort, and resources to searching for baby Quentin.
And not only that, but when they found baby Quentin, they went into this knowing they could be the one that could potentially find baby Quentin. Can you imagine finding a child, 20 months old, that's been decomposed, probably animals, Yeah, Chief Hadley has 6 kids, from my understanding.
We say thank you. These men and women worked very long hours, turning shifts for 6 weeks straight, working tirelessly and would not quit until Quentin's body was found. Were it not for their tireless efforts, we would not have been able to take the first step on the long road to justice as we have today.
Exactly, and that's what people don't understand is the people that was like, why aren't y'all arresting her? Why aren't y'all arresting her? They needed to make sure that when they did arrest her, that it could stick, that it wouldn't be like Casey Anthony. And I have to commentate on this, you guys. I have to stop and I have to speak so it falls within fair use. So, anybody that's like, please just play it, I have to stop and commentate, or the video is going to get taken down.
I'm standing here before you because earlier this morning, the sworn and impaneled members of our Chatham County grand jury returned a 19-count indictment against the mother of Quentin Simon. That is
19 counts, so 19 charges that she's being faced with.
Is defendant Leilani Simon. Defendant Simon is charged in the indictment with 1 count of malice murder for the intentional killing or death of her son, Quentin Simon.
The intentional. So literally malice murder. They have reason to believe that she intentionally killed him, that it wasn't some sort of an accident, it wasn't an accidental drowning, that she intentionally killed him.
She is also charged in counts 2 and 3 with felony murder in the death of her son. She is charged also with 1 count of concealment of the death of another in this indictment. And that is followed by several counts of giving false statements during the course of a police investigation.
I think it was,
as your district,
I think it's 14 counts of lying to the police, from my understanding. 14 counts. What does everybody have to say now? What is, the people that defended Leilani that was like, you guys don't know the facts, you guys don't know the story. Well, the people, the FBI, the investigators, that this is their job. They looked at the facts. They looked at anything that they can find. And according to them, they think that she maliciously killed her son. I don't know. I think there's people that need to say, we were wrong. Wow, we were wrong.
Attorney, I realize that this matter is really important to our community and also to the inquiring minds both here and beyond our community that want to know what happened to baby Quentin and how it happened. That curiosity is not lost on me. However,
yeah, she wonders too. Like to the people that wonder how this happened. I'm sure Leilani didn't tell them.
There's more evidence that may be revealed during the course of this investigation. And I say that to remind you all that this is an ongoing criminal investigation. As prosecutors, we are duty bound to preserve the judicial process by not making out-of-court statements about the case and by not releasing evidence in the case. I want you to know that this is not about hiding anything, and our goal is always to be.
Exactly. That's one thing, too, that a lot of people over there in Savannah, those protesters, they don't understand. That was an ongoing investigation. This is not some little thing for clicks and views. This is not some little thing to be like, we made them do that. We pressured them. Like, we're the reason they did that. No, law enforcement works in the way that they work in. And they're going to try their best to get as much evidence as possible. They're not going to be pushed by people. They're not going to be forced and pressured into making a call that they don't feel safe making. They had a lot of people there telling them, arrest her. Y'all need to arrest her. Y'all can arrest her on anything. But the thing is had they arrested her on something that maybe wouldn't have stuck, it would have just wasted time. They wanted to arrest her with what would stick, and they wanted to make sure they had the evidence. And that's exactly what they did. They wasn't pushed around by, people that don't know the law, people that just wanted an arrest to happen. They did what they needed to do. And this is still an ongoing investigation, there's things they can't say. They want to be as transparent as possible, but there's things they cannot say.
Be transparent with the members of the public. However, it is very important that we preserve the sanctity of the judicial process.
Absolutely.
It is very important that we do that so that the evidence in this case, if this case should go to trial, can be heard by jurors who are selected from this community, the jurors, the citizens, and the people who are most impacted by the untimely death of Quentin Simon. But not revealing.
Wait. So is she saying that they're gonna have the trial there? That's what that just sounded like. Like she's saying she's gonna have they want to have the trial there, and not move it, which is what Billy Joe wants. Billy Joe wants to move it to where Leilani could have a fair trial, versus having it in Savannah or Chatham County where people know about this. Yeah, with accidents, people normally call for help. That's why I never believed that Casey Anthony was an accident. I mean, that's why I never thought that Kaylee was an accident. Because if she would have accidentally drowned, you call for help.
This evidence also ensures that the criminal proceeding remain fair, just, untainted, and that this case is not tried in the court of public opinion, but is resolved in a court of law.
Right.
What that means is that while this case is of grave importance to our office, and we will devote every resource to making sure that this case is properly handled from beginning to end, it also means that we will not be responding to any open records requests or media questions.
Okay, so anybody that requested like a FOIA in regards to this case is not going to get it, which is standard protocol. Anytime there's an ongoing investigation, they don't send out that type of information. And Billy Joe did say they were going to try to do a change of venue. Sounds to me like she's saying they don't want to do a change of venue. They want it tried in the county where it happened and where the people surrounding, were most impacted. Yes, she could also mean there may not, because she said if there is a trial, meaning maybe Leilani will take a plea deal, which is always possible.
About the facts and underlying circumstances and evidence of the case. We all know that justice takes time.
Absolutely. Say it louder for the ones in the back. Justice takes time. Anything rushed never works out. There's things that you miss when you rush something like this. You're going to miss evidence. You're going to, the information might not be all there. So I'm just, I'm really I know I keep going back to say this, but the people that was pressuring them or attempting to pressure the police department, I don't think it worked. Even Chief Hadley said, we weren't pressured, because he was asked at the last press conference, did you feel pressure? And he said, not at all, not a bit. While, protesters were there thinking they were really putting the pressure on the police, it didn't happen. And she's saying here, it takes time.
But it should be swift and sure and fair. We appreciate your time and patience with us in this matter as we continue to pursue justice for baby Quentin Simon and for the citizens of Chatham County. Thank you very much.
She's very pretty. I like her. The DA over there in Chatham County.
Are you taking questions?
Chief Hadley's in the back.
Depends on what questions you have.
Chief Hadley's in the back. You can't really see him. We're going to turn the audio up as much as we can, put on closed captions to see if we can hear any of the questions that's going to be asked.
Any chance we can get a copy of the indictment?
Any chance we can get a copy of the indictment, which I already have. We'll go look at that in just a little bit, but we do have a copy of the indictment.
The indictment has not been sealed as of yet. That means that as of now, it is still a matter of public record. You can obtain a copy of that indictment from the Office of the Superior Court Clerk.
I know there's only so much you can release, but from the evidence that you've had a chance to look at, is there anything you can tell us that really stuck out to you? What was the most shocking to you just from a human point of view?
We know you can't release a lot of information, but just from what you can release, what was the most shocking thing that kind of stuck out at you throughout this investigation is what I think they're saying. Like, what's the most shocking thing that caught your attention?
Well, I would generally say, not about this case, but in general, whenever we have a death of a child of tender years, in this case, as I said, Quentin Simon was 2 years old, that's something that is just going to stick in your mind. As a prosecutor, that's something that...
Yep, Chief Hadley's back there shaking his head. Let's look at this. Hold on, I'm going to back that up just a little bit.
That's something that is just going to stick in your mind. As a prosecutor, that's something that keeps me up at night, and that is what's going to keep me and the rest of this office pursuing justice in this case.
Oh, she's the prosecutor. She's not even the DA. So I assume she was the DA because they're in front of the DA's office, but she's actually the prosecutor. So she said it's not even just in this case, but in general, a case where children are involved. It keeps you up at night. And Chief Hadley in the background shaking his head. Yep, sure does. You know, when kids are involved, it definitely hits you a little bit different.
So Lenny Simon still hasn't petitioned to take her bond hearing to Superior Court. Is that something that surprises you, or is she where she needs to be?
Well,
Leilani Simon still has a petition to take her bond hearing to Superior Court. Is that something that surprises you? So Leilani still has a petition to take her bond hearing to Superior Court. Basically, I think to try to request a bond through Superior Court. Maybe she was denied bond or not even allowed a bond. So I guess she's taking that to Superior Court.
Well, I think that would be a better question that's reserved for her defense counsel. I am not surprised by any moves that defendants do and don't make. My job is to make sure that we stand ready to respond to whatever move they make, and so should she request a bond hearing, my office will be ready.
And they're going to probably do anything in their power to shut down her ever getting a bond.
Can you share with us why Billy Joe was jailed?
Can you repeat the question?
Can you share with us why Billy Joe was jailed?
Can you tell us why Billy Joe went to jail is what he just said. Can you tell us why Billy Joe went to jail?
That's a separate legal matter that's still under investigation. I'm not at liberty to discuss that matter at this time.
That's clearly the CPS investigation, from my understanding, which it is separate from Quentin's case. But would it be happening if Quentin's case, if Quentin wasn't killed, would Billy Joe's case even be happening? No.
You may not be able to answer this question either, but what resulted in the contempt charges for Miss Billy Joe Howell or Betterton?
What's the question?
What resulted in the contempt charges?
Are you asking?
He said you may not be able to answer this question, but what was the contempt charge in reference to Billy Joe?
Asking what caused the contempt?
Yeah.
Are you asking what caused the contempt charge?
Again, that's a separate legal matter. I'm not at liberty to discuss that at this time.
The way she's smiling, I don't know. It's like, but we got her.
In your course of prosecution here, you have 3 murder charges for 1 victim. Can you talk about it, just explain to the general public why that happens, the difference in malice murder and the 2 counts of felony murder?
That's a really good question. So he said you have 3 charges for murder on this indictment, which I thought that it was 2. I thought it was malice murder, felony murder, but he says there's 3. So you got more than 1 murder charge for 1 baby. Can you explain why that is? To the general public, that's not, has a knowledge of legal issues. I don't know.
Prosecutors often develop different theories of a case and how a murder may or may not have occurred. It is not uncommon for us in murder cases, and you'll see this in our other indictments, to charge murder in a number of different ways. And as I said, as the evidence continues to evolve in this case and we get closer to trial, should we get there, we'll have more information about if any additional murder charges need to be filed or if they need to be.
If any additional murder charges needs to be filed. Are these the same as first-degree murder? I don't think so. Malice murder and felony murder, I don't know if that's first degree, but they could potentially add it if it's not.
Be changed in any way.
You say you're still gathering evidence. Talk about the confidence you have in the evidence that you have right now.
Well, to be honest, I wouldn't be standing here before
So he said, you said that you're still gathering evidence. How confident are you in the evidence that you have now? How confident are you in the evidence that you have at this moment in terms of the indictment and the charges? She says, well, to be honest, I wouldn't be standing here
for you if I wasn't confident about the evidence that we have. We have more than sufficient evidence to bring the charges, and that's why we presented this case to grand jury. They actually believed us. They returned a true bill on the indictment. We're confident about that. But what makes me even more confident is that I get to rely on the hard work and evidence and investigation of Chief Hadley, his team.
Love Chief Hadley. Have a lot of admiration for Chief Hadley. Some people might would have caved to the pressure and, people acting ridiculous like a lot of people did, but not him.
Law enforcement agencies, they collected copious amounts of evidence, and because of their fine investigative work, I feel very confident that we are about the position that we're in today.
Absolutely.
You spoke to the hard work of Chief Hadley and law enforcement in this case, and I know Chief Hadley told us multiple times that he didn't want to stand before us months later talking about flaws in the investigation and how that's impacted the case. Can you just speak to how the efforts of law enforcement have helped make this case, have helped make you confident in the evidence of this case so far?
Okay, so she said Chief Hadley stood before us weeks ago saying how he did not want to stand in front of us months down the road talking about a flawed case, basically. Having to say, well, we didn't, not being able to pursue charges, or her maybe getting away with it, walking, not having enough evidence to find her guilty. No, she said so weeks ago. Chief Hadley said he did not want to, months down the line, have to stand in front of us and basically say that they made like a rush to judgment, didn't have enough evidence. So can you speak on the evidence that y'all have, how confident, you guys may be, basically?
Well, I would say that the evidence that was produced by law enforcement, the good thing is that we had a number of different law enforcement agencies coming together and pooling their information and resources.
Yeah, they had the FBI, they had the Chatham County Police, they had several different agencies.
I am very proud of the work of the lead detective on this case, who was absolutely solid from beginning to end. And, that's something that you pick up when you're a prosecutor and examining evidence and case files and working with detectives. Also, we have one of our top-notch prosecutors. All of our prosecutors in this office are top-notch, but we have one of our top-notch prosecutors who specializes in these kinds of cases and crimes against children, who reviewed the case day and night.
I'm kind of getting confused because I thought she was the district attorney standing in front of the district attorney's door, but then she said she was a prosecutor. But I guess they have, where I live, we got one prosecutor, I believe. We're from a very small town. Maybe there they have more. But they have one that specializes in cases against children.
So, those kinds of things build our confidence in moving forward with the charge.
Do we have any information or update information about the boyfriend who was home at the time?
Do you have any information about the boyfriend?
We have information about that, but again, that's not anything that I'm going to reveal right now, as I can't talk about the underlying facts and circumstances. I'm sorry, I wish I could. I know you want to know.
So they said, do you have any information about the boyfriend? And she just said, I can't talk about that. I can't talk about underlining information. I wish I could, but I can't.
But out of respect for the judicial process, I kind of have to keep my word on that. And also, I'd like to keep my bar license. So I appreciate your time and attention. Thank you for coming out this afternoon. We will continue to keep you posted as necessary. Thank you, and thank you to the citizens of Chatham County.
Does it sound like he's a witness? Does it sound like she was basically saying he was a witness? I don't know. She said, I'd like to keep my bar license. So let me see. I wanted to read that. Malice murder is a criminal offense in the state of Georgia committed when a homicide is done with express or implied malice. Hold on. The definition of malice is the intention or desire to do evil. It only takes $100 at AAA to get your license between U.S. and Canada and vice versa. Some states have prosecutors and others have district attorneys who do prosecute the case in the state. Just different names. But yeah, I kind of need to figure out who she is. I didn't even catch her name. Neither a malice or felony murder charge in Georgia requires a prosecutor to prove intent to kill, and no evidence of premeditation is required. That's interesting. Gotcha. Sounds like she did. She kept saying, if it were to go, if it gets to trial, if it gets to trial, if it gets to trial, which makes me wonder if there are some discussions of a plea deal. I mean, that'd probably be Leilani's best option, a plea deal. She's looking at 19 charges, 2 different murder charges, malice murder. Um, I mean, she's definitely probably looking at the death penalty more than likely. Biggest clue in this whole presser to me was the word intentional. Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll look at the indictment again. Y'all give me just a second, and we will look at the indictment again. So what's everyone's thoughts? 19 charges. I don't even remember if that's what... we have 675 people in here. If you guys don't mind, can you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe button? A lot of you in here are probably not subscribed. I see a few of you guys in here that I've never seen. So if you guys don't mind, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate you. We're going to continue to keep up with this story. If this goes to trial, I'll do my best to get to Georgia to go to trial so I could be in there keeping up with what's happening. Georgia's about 14 hours away from me. It probably won't be for about a year or so before it goes to trial, unless she takes a plea deal. But I'm definitely going to be keeping up with this. If you guys don't mind, just hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate that. Let's see. Death penalty. Definitely think she's probably looking at the death penalty. See what got the feeling maybe they are working on some sort of plea deal, or if it's considered. Thank you, Kid Sonny. Thank you so much. Thank you, Christina Thomas, Sandra Daniel, Hector. I don't know your last name, Tara Brooks. Thank you all. Yesterday was a lurker. Hey, we appreciate lurkers too. This woman's going to make sure Leilani is... Yeah, I definitely think she's going to do everything that she can to make sure that there is justice for Quentin. She said baby Q, as he is affectionately called, which I thought was cute. I don't know the other YouTube mention. I only watch Elle. However, the YouTubers that turned that neighborhood into a... Yeah, it was a... I mean, I wanted to go. I wanted to go and hang out outside the house and just kind of keep my eye out on everything. But once it turned into like a real like drama fest almost, I was like, no, I'm not going. Georgia does have the death penalty. I got something. Thank you. I'll call you later. Love you.
Love you too, bud.
That was my mama. My mail goes to my mom, so I really wonder, are we going to hear from people saying, man, maybe we made a mistake, which maybe not. That's fine. Really, the main thing that I care about is I'm glad that this did not pressure them to do anything that they weren't ready to do. I've been sub forever, just a silent watcher. Keep up. Thank you, Young at Heart. Thank you. I love when my silent watchers start talking in the chat. I appreciate you guys. Got one of Kennedy's Christmas presents in the mail. My room is getting filled up with boxes. Yeah, it really turned into just like something that I didn't feel like was really focused on Quentin anymore. And it kind of turned into something else. And I just didn't like it. When I would watch it, I got this like pit in my stomach where it's like, what is this really about though? The bottom line is there's a 20-month-old child that will never get to grow up. He had siblings, a 3-year-old brother that at this point is wondering, where is my siblings? Where is my mom? Where is my grandma? Where are the people that, regardless of if they took the best care of him or not, And it seems like maybe they didn't. But that was all that he knew as family. So he's in foster care now, probably being taken care of better. Hopefully, that's what we're hoping. But still wondering, where's those people that normally are here taking care of me? Where's the people that I have grown to know? And now he's in this. Quentin, his brother, his sister, and how their lives have been changed and disrupted, and for what? For what? And if they really believe that this was malice murder, that she intentionally took his life, I'm sorry, but she deserves everything that she gets. Everything that she gets, I'm sorry. It just doesn't make sense why anybody would do this. Put your child up for adoption. I mean, you didn't even have your child. You didn't even have your child. I mean, you had already given your child up to your mom. If you can't stay there and take care of your child, then get the hell out of the house. Get the hell out of the house. I'm sorry. Like, oh, this irritates me because really, I'm like, give your child up then. Give your child up for adoption. You already gave your child to your mom. You gave your child to your mom, but you wouldn't get out of your mom's house. So this is a part of the indictment. It was signed today. And it just says, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says offense. Yes, malice murder, felony murder. Yes, I am on a live stream, baby. I'll text you when I get off. All right, love you. She did the right first step. She took the first step by signing him over to her mom, but then she stayed in the house. True crime down. Where are you seeing that at, babe? I want to go. Okay, where's the full indictment at? I'm not seeing it anywhere right now. Let me see if I can find it anywhere. It's 8 pages. Oh. Y'all, I can't. According to Leilani Simon's 8-page indictment, Leilani beat Quentin Simon with an object causing chronic. That's so bad. That is terrible. I hope somebody whoops her ass in that jail. That's so bad. Oh my God, y'all. Billy Joe, you should be ashamed of yourself. Finding this out, Billy Joe, knowing this, Billy Joe, if that was my child, I'd whoop her ass myself. Does anybody have the full indictment? Can you email it to me if anybody has it? I'm not seeing the full indictment. Where was his brother? Did his brother see it? Does anybody know where the full indictment is? I wouldn't do a plea with her. If I was the DA, if I was the prosecution, I would not do a deal with her. She would get the death penalty. That's what I would go for. Oh my God, this is terrible. This is way worse than I could have even thought. Like, I thought maybe he drowned and they were under the influence. And you know what? She, with her sick butt, sat on a live stream on Cher's channel saying, and then she did that interview. She did that freaking interview with WTOC with Shay Schreider saying, if it comes out that I'm responsible for this, I'll turn myself in. And Billy Joe's like, I'll walk her to the jail if I find out. Well, Billy Joe, what do you got to say about it now? And I know what's going to be said by those that support these nuts. It's going to be like, well, we don't know if that really happened. Well, you know what? This is what they do. This is what they do. They're, investigators, forensic scientists, they're people that investigate this, and this is literally what they do. They took that baby's body, as badly decomposed as he was, and they probably found that he probably, I don't even know, but they're not pulling this out their butt. They didn't pull this out of their butt. If anybody has the full indictment, please send it to me. I want to see if we can find the full indictment, and we'll go over it. One count of malice murder for the intentional killing of Quentin Simon. You know what that also tells us? If she beat him with something in that house, Paul knows, Danny knows more than likely. More than likely, they both know. Danny, I hope to hell you're working with the state and you're telling them what you know. If not, I mean, he went back home. Danny went back home. And Billy Joe shared a picture of Danny standing right beside Leilani looking fine. If anybody stood by while that woman hurt that baby, they are equally as responsible, in my opinion. You don't sit there and watch someone do something like that to a child. I don't know, Diamond, if she told, but for some reason, this is what they think happened, that she beat, and maybe she did. Maybe she's trying to get a plea. Maybe she told them what happened. I don't know. One count of malice murder for the intentional killing of Quentin Simon. 2 counts of felony murder. 1 count of concealment of the death of another. Several counts of giving false statements. Has anybody found the indictment? Hell, those abuse pictures were real. I personally have 10 pictures of bruises and marks on those kids. Anyone saying they weren't abused needs to apologize to those of us who were trying to tell y'all. I never, I saw one picture and was like kind of unsure, I need to get that. I need to get that. I got to figure out how to get it. I got to figure out how to get the indictment. Hold on. I'm gonna work on getting the indictment, and tonight we'll go live and go over the indictment. Um, I already know I'm not well. Like, I'm not. This is terrible. I really thought that she was high under the influence of something, and maybe he drowned. Maybe he got into drugs and ate something. I never really thought that she like beat him. For them to be able to tell the abuse on a skeleton, he had to have skull fracture or broken bones. True Crime Dime, can you message me the pictures that you have that show bruises? I don't know if I believe that he had anything to do with Quentin's death, but if Quentin was if Quentin was beat to death, if he was beat to death like the indictment says that they believe he was, so how did nobody in that house hear it? Was it in the middle of the night? Was he asleep? I do want it emailed, Proud Army Mom. If anybody has it, please email it at netnet216@gmail.com. The world is a terrible place. Um, you have people like um, Leilani, Casey Anthony, um, Tanner Horner, ain't that his name? That show absolutely no care, no mercy. Yeah, she's playing the I don't remember card. Well, guess what? Somebody needs to whoop your ass and they say, I don't remember. Like, she deserves, in my opinion, and I'm coming out of character now and I really don't need to. The bridge, if you unsubscribe and resubscribe, it may help, but I really don't know. I've had a few people telling me that they're not getting the notifications as well. Remember, they went into the house and collected evidence. Yeah, they sprayed the luminol everywhere. They know they wouldn't have charged her. I can't. I can't even. I know I'm getting sick to my stomach as well. Um, yeah, I mean, the babysitter was canceled from his phone. So either he canceled the babysitter or she canceled from his phone. Now, if she beat him to death in the middle of the night, right? In the middle of the night, she beat him to death. Um, say the boyfriend was asleep and she beat him to death in the middle of the night. She may have grabbed the boyfriend's phone to text the babysitter. That way, when this come out, it could look like the boyfriend has something to do with this. Because from my understanding, the boyfriend had no knowledge of a text. The only request that will be denied is with everything else. She said right now the indictment is still public right now. It's still open to the public, so I need to get on that. So sad. It's so sad. I'm believing Danny rolled on her. I believe Danny probably knew something. Maybe he woke up and it had already happened and he didn't know what to do, but I believe he rolled on her. I'm going to try to get the indictment real quick, you guys, and we'll come back live later as soon as I can get it. Um, why didn't, yeah, Danny nor neither one of them would. If anybody finds the indictment, please email it to me. I'm going to see if I can get it. And as soon as I have it, we'll go live, but it's going to be a heartbreaking one. Already knowing that um, wait. Um, knowing that he was beat to death. She had a tooth pulled the day before. Danny woke up, went to work. She was supposed to work, called out because of her tooth. At 1 a.m., she said she needed Orajel and went and dumped him. My email is netnet216@gmail.com. Let me type it in the chat. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get off, see what I need to do to get that indictment, and then we'll come back and we'll cover that, you guys. So please keep your eye out on my channel. As soon as I get that indictment, we're going to be going over it, but it's going to be a difficult one. Based off just what we know now, it's going to be really difficult. It's an 18-page indictment. She's got 19 charges, and they're saying that she beat him to death, basically. So let me see if I can go ahead and get it. And as soon as I get it, we'll come right back. So keep your eye out on the channel. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. As weird as that may sound, to thumbs up a video about something like this, it helps with the algorithm. So I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.